What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update and a few bits and pieces to get through today. And let's start off with Skipp talking about Tanguy Ndombele. And they're saying Tanguy is not destined to stay at Lyon beyond this summer, which is obviously not great for Spurs fans to hear, but apparently he might be on his way back to Tottenham at the end of the summer. And, you know, I think that this was always a big possibility when we saw the way the deal was structured, wasn't it?
I think it's too early to say in terms of what's going to happen. We're still in March. You know, what if Lyon win the Europa League or something and he's instrumental, and then they'll want to keep it, won't they? Mm-hmm. So I think it's way too early I don't think they're making any final judgments. But obviously the release clause in the deal is very, very high, and it's going to take a lot for Lyon to go that high. It's pretty much Tottenham getting their money back on the deal. So I think at the moment, yeah, it's probably from what I gather, he's playing quite well, but I don't know if he's like playing at a level where they want to spend 65 million on him. I don't know. I haven't been watching him week in, week out.
Yeah, he was actually he wasn't even in the team the last game. But I think that he's blowing hot and cold there from what I'm hearing. Like some games he's good, some games he's not showing up.
Sounds like his Tottenham career.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's very unlikely they spend 65 million on him, but I think it's still too early. And just because they won't spend 65 doesn't mean we can't agree a deal for like a lot cheaper. So I think I wouldn't give up on this deal just yet.
And there's also is there still a potential of maybe PSG coming back in for him in the summer, because they were obviously interested in him, but that was with Pochettino. If Pochettino doesn't say they'd be on the summer, maybe it's not a viable option, PSG.
I think they've had enough of these kind of midfielders who aren't going to work so hard, haven't they? Like, have they not been burned so many times? Why? No wonder they can't get through to like far in the Champions League. They keep crumbling every time because they've got too many players like Ndombele in there who just don't put in the hard yards. And if you're going to have players like Messi and Mbappe and Neymar, you not only need your midfielders to be working hard, they need to work extra hard. They need to work like doubly as hard as the opposition to make up for it. So I don't know. I think without Pochettino, I'm pretty sure that Ndombele deal to PSG is dead.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Sergio Reguilon now. Fabrizio Romano, a couple of days ago now, says that Spurs left-back Reguilon is attracting a lot of interest. Barcelona are keeping tabs of his situation, but there are also a lot of top European clubs, and it's an open race. Madrid have a buyback clause available this summer for Reguilon, which is around 40 million euros. And a Barcelona reporter, Albert Rogue, says Barcelona are interested in Reguilon, and neither party are ruling out a transfer. Tottenham like Lenglet and Depay, so an exchange is possible.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see Madrid allowing him to go to Barca. I think they would more likely buy him back just to sell him on rather than
just a spite buy.
Yeah, literally, rather than let him go to Barcelona for whatever fee. I can't see us selling to Barca for 40. I don't know, if they came in 40 million, would we sell? I don't think we would. I think we'd probably hold out for a bit more.
But again, if Barca come in for 40 million, you know Real Madrid are going to match that.
Yeah, that's 100% right. Although Madrid, I don't think Madrid will want him next season to be in the team. I just think they would want him, like they did with Hakimi. They bought him back just to sell him on, and they've done that before, haven't they, Madrid? So I think that's the one thing I was most worried about. If they buy him back for 40 million, are they getting more than that for him from anyone else? Not in his current form, but I still think he's a good player and he's a good left back, and I think he's not done badly at Tottenham since he's come here. I don't think he's been terrible. What I'm saying is it going to be the same as the Hakimi deal? Can they buy him back for 40 million and get a profit on him? Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to see who comes in for 50 million or 60 million to sign him. I don't know if he's worth that much. I don't know if he's worth 60. I think 40 is probably is worth, to be honest. But unless he has a crazy end to the season. Because I think the thing is, Reguilon, he has the capability to really explode. He just needs to really work on a few things in his game, which I think he's getting better at. And he can be a really top-class left wing-back. I think he's already a very good left-back. I think left wing-back, when he's asked to do a lot more attacking than he's used to, he's maybe come unstuck a few times, especially when he has to show a bit more quality inside the penalty area and inside the final third. I think when he was at left back last season, especially early in the season, I think he played very well foot under Mourinho, and I think he's quite a good defensive left back. He rarely gets roasted wingers rarely get the better of him. I
felt like last season he had a really good first half of the season. The second half of the season, I thought he was shocking last year, and this year I think he has improved on his second half of the performances last year, but he needs to improve his final product in the final third. His end product in the final third.
Yeah, I think under Conte he's been pretty good though. I don't think he's been bad. I'm just thinking, because obviously, as I said, he's learning a new position, isn't he? A bit like I think he's much more used to being a fullback, and now he's got a lot more offensive responsibility as well as defensive. Under Mourinho last season, he went forward a bit, but he didn't have this constant demand of every time we get the ball he has to be there. Like, he didn't have that, and now he does. And I think he's getting a lot better at his positional sense and all that kind of stuff, and being an option in the final third. He just needs to improve his quality, especially when shooting. I think his crossing and ability and passing is still pretty solid. I think he needs to improve his shooting ability and that kind of stuff. And if he does that, he could be worth a lot more than 40 million. But at the moment, 40 million is probably around his worth.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's move on. Let's talk about Paulo Dybala. Those rumours coming around again. Well, actually, there isn't any rumours about him coming to Tottenham, but there is facts coming out of Fabrizio Romano saying that Dybala will leave Juventus as a free agent. There was a verbal agreement last October for €8 million plus add-ons for his net salary until 2026. Then Juve decided to change their proposal. Paulo's not happy with the current new conditions, and he will now be open to talk with other clubs. And Juventus director confirms this, and he says that we won't extend Dybala's contract. We're not going to do any new proposal for him. The decision has been made, and Dybala's agent will now open talks with other clubs. He's free to join any club as his contract runs out in June. So when you're looking at €8 million in a weekly salary is 150 grand a week.
It's not terrible.
Which Tottenham can afford.
Definitely. I would assume we were probably paying him around the same a couple of years ago, whenever it was, wouldn't he? It's not a terrible salary.
So
not terrible.
This could be a goer?
I mean, financially, it probably makes sense, doesn't it? It's whether, he's at an age, 28, 29 now?
He's 28, 29, yeah.
He hasn't had the best of season.
I thought he's done pretty well this season, Dybala.
I think hasn't he had a few injuries and stuff?
I'm not too sure, but whenever I'm watching Juve, he plays pretty well. And he scores. I thought he scored quite a few this season.
Or maybe I'm thinking of last season too much. I think last season he didn't have the best season City. This season, maybe he's been better.
He scored 8 goals and 5 assists this season in 20 games.
No, not terrible. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Look, I would love him. I think he's top class. I think he's got the bags of ability.
And he's not their captain. Well, he has been captain, or maybe he's an assistant captain or something like that.
Or he's leaving on a free, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think he would work perfect under Conte. He could play in a 5-3-2 with 2 up top. He could play in the 3-4-3. He's quite versatile. He could even play in the 5-2-1-2 in behind 2 other strikers. So he gives you a lot of options. And I don't understand why anyone would be against the deal, or why people would say like, oh, he wouldn't get in the team. What about Kane? What about this one? What about that one? It's like Liverpool just signed Diaz, and they had Mane, Salah and Jota and Firmino, and they just added to that with Diaz. That's what you got to do when you're competing against these kind of teams. You can't think like, oh, we're fine in that position. We don't need to we don't need to add. Like, we need quality of depth. That's always been a massive problem. And when you have Chelsea and Liverpool and you're battling and City, and you're battling against these teams who have unbelievable depth, you need to, if you're going to have ambition to compete with them, that's what you got to look at, and that's what you got to add. So I'd be all for this deal. I think financially it probably makes sense for us to do it. It's just whether, first of all, Conte has to want him. Conte has to think he's going to be the answer, like his kind of player. We've seen before already with other players of quality that he doesn't fancy them. They're not his player. So if Conte wants him, then I'm all for it. But it's whether he wants to stay in Italy or he wants to go abroad. What his plans are. I think a lot of it as well. I think it will massively improve our chances if we do get Champions League. I think that would be if we get Champions League, I think all of a sudden we do become one of the teams where we are genuinely an option for him. I think without it, we have to do a lot of convincing. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and this is one, like, when people talk about bringing in, even Conte said it, right? When he first came here, that if we're going to bring in a striker, we need to bring in one that's at a similar level to Harry Kane. And there's not many better players that we can get in that position for this kind of deal than Paulo Dybala, is there?
No, definitely not. I think in terms of money spent, you can't get much better than someone Dybala with that money.
And also it fits in with Ricky Villa, Ozzy Ardiles, Maurizio Taricco, Lo Celso, Lamela, Chris Cuti Romero. Football heritage.
Exactly. And we love a good Argentine, don't we? That's the whole thing. But it's whether Conte said, though, the plan for the project of Tottenham is not to do that, didn't he? He said it's buying young players with a lot of potential to grow. And so whether that fits the project, let's wait and see.
We will wait and see. But let's move on and let's talk about Ollie Skipp. Alistair Gold confirmed a few days ago that discussions over a new bumper deal, a new bumper contract for Ollie Skipp is nearing a positive conclusion now. So that is music to all our ears. I mean, I didn't think any other way, to be honest. But how much do you reckon he's going to be on? What do you reckon this contract is worth for him?
What's he on? Well, I don't know what he's on now. If he's on, let's say, 15k a week now?
Yeah.
10, 15k a week now. He's probably going to bump that up to about 40, I would assume. That sounds about right.
He's on 25.
25, so maybe 45. Maybe give him another 20. Maybe even double it. Maybe 50, something like that. And I think he deserves it. I think he's become a consistent member of the first team. He's become a player you can rely on. He's been improving. So I'm very, very happy for him if he gets a new deal. I know he's had his troubles recently with injuries, but he's one of those players before this little injury spell. He's pretty consistently injury-free, wasn't he? Didn't he play almost all their games last season for Norwich?
Yeah, he just got injured right at the end, didn't he?
He broke something, didn't he? Yeah. That's right, yeah. But then he came back from that pretty quickly and was ready for the start of the season.
Yeah.
Even though they said he might have been out for 3-4 months, he got ready pretty quickly. So he's pretty reliable. And I think he's getting better and better, going from strength to strength. Conte really believes in him. And I've been very happy with his progress this season. So 100% he deserves a new deal.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's move on. Let's talk about Cuti Romero now. As Charlie Eccleshare says that Romero has been called up to the Argentina squad, with the AFA hoping his ban will be reduced to one match. He is said to have flown out last night, which was yesterday, so 2 days ago. On this Cuti Romero thing, obviously the thing was that he got banned for 2 games because of that whole thing with Lo Celso, where we went under quarantine laws and everything like that. But they still called him up in hope that one of these games is going to get rescinded. Couldn't they just leave him at home for one bloody international break?
They're already qualified as well, so I don't know why they have to call him up in the home.
So annoying. He's got an injury every time we've let him go to Argentina. Every single
literally,
time.
he got a bad one last time as well. 3 months out with a hamstring tear. So let's hope the ban is upheld. That's all I got to say. But it's a bit of a pointless call up. But talking of call ups quickly before we move on, Carl Walker-Peters called up for England.
Yeah,
that is is he good? He's good enough for England, but not good enough for Spurs.
Yeah, and Dyer's good enough for Spurs, not good enough for England.
Yeah, exactly how it is. But fair, but I'm happy for him, man. I think he's deserved it. I think he's playing really well with Southampton, and a bit of a surprise call up. But I'm happy that for a former Tottenham player who's come through the youth ranks, and that I'm happy for him because he's always been a lot of doubts when he was at Tottenham. And even though whenever he played pretty well, I thought we never really got a regular run, did he? And now he's gone improving in Southampton. He's got himself a call up.
Would you have liked to keep him at the time?
Potentially, definitely. I'd like to keep him now. I mean, I'd like to have him now. That's for sure.
But would you have sabotaged the Højbjerg deal?
I wouldn't have done that. But I definitely was a bit I knew even at the time I wasn't upset about him leaving, but I knew there was a chance this guy could turn into a pretty good right back, and I think he has done.
Yeah, I agree with that. Performing at a really good level, Southampton, and big up to him and well done to him because it's not hard leaving a club like Tottenham, where you've come through the ranks and you're getting your chances here and there, and maybe a few people at Tottenham didn't fancy him or something like that, and to go to Southampton, another Premier League club, and perform like he has done is admirable. So well done to him. Next up, Heung-min Son, talking about a new Sonny record, which is about to be broken any game now. It says Heung-min Son
he's not going to break it now. You watch.
Sonny is 1 assist away from becoming the only player across Europe to have 10 goals and 6 assists in every season since 16-17.
Wow.
So is that the definition of consistency?
That definitely is, and you got to think of how many. That's across all Europe's top 5 leagues, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think about how many unbelievable players there are who've been playing since that year in all Europe's top 5 leagues. This is
Lewandowski, Benzema,
everyone
Ronaldo,
you can think of.
Messi, you know.
And Son, if he gets one more assist, will be the only one who gets regularly over 10 goals and 6 assists. He regularly provides and regularly scores. That's sensational. Sensational, as they say. That's an unbelievable record.
Surely Messi would be up there. It's this season that's doing him.
I guess so, yeah, because he's only got 2 goals. Yeah, Messi surely, because he always gets assists and goals. But it's unbelievable if he's this is.
And Ronaldo probably.
It doesn't get as many assists, does he, Ronaldo? But definitely goals. Obviously, goals he would definitely be up there. But
he's got 10 goals this year, hasn't he, Ronaldo?
Yeah, he's got more than 10. But has he got the assists?
No, he hasn't.
Probably not. So
he's just a poacher now, isn't he?
Exactly. So fair play to Son, man. That is an unbelievable record, and that fires back at anyone who says he's a streaky player or he's not world class. I think those numbers prove how consistent he's been over such a long period of time and how unbelievably consistent he is, and the quality he has of both scoring and assisting. I mean, it's incredible, absolutely incredible record. If he gets to that, I'm sure he'll get it.
Yeah, of course he will. He's got 9 games left to do it in. So
yeah,
1 assist,
sure
that's all he needs. Yeah, he'll definitely do it. But anyway, last but not least, congratulations to little Aaron Lennon, who made his 400th Premier League appearance last weekend. An absolutely amazing feat for him. It's actually unbelievable that he's still playing, seeing as how long ago he was actually at Tottenham and at the top of his game.
I think he left Tottenham like 7 years ago now.
Something like that, yeah.
Ridiculous. Wow, how is he still playing?
He went over to Turkey, I think it was. And
for a bit, yeah. Everton and Turkey, then Burnley.
But
I think it was Burnley, Turkey, then back to Burnley, wasn't it?
Oh, was he at Burnley twice, was he?
Yeah.
But look, I think that he was a player that gave us all a lot of great moments. When you remember the assist in the San Siro, when you remember the goal at the end at the Emirates to 4-4. I mean, there were so many moments I just can't remember off the top of my head, but he was a pure fan's favourite when he was here, wasn't he?
Yeah, and it was a shame that when he left, like, he wasn't too old. I just think I don't know, lost confidence or something. He said, hasn't he, that he
was struggling through mental health and stuff like that at his latter stages.
So that was a sad ending, but he was always one of my favourite players when he was at Tottenham. Especially, he came as a teenager, broke into the team at 18 years of age, and he was for about 4 or 5 years. He was absolutely unstoppable. He went to England, didn't he? 2 World Cups he went to, and he was fantastic, and he was such a great right winger. And I'm so glad that he's hit that kind of milestone, because it shows that his longevity. I can't believe he's still playing Premier League football. He's still got a few goals this season as well. So fair play to him, coming back into form a bit. Well done to Aaron Lennon. Happy for him. And most of them, I'm sure, there were vast majority of those appearances for us, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And probably I think he must have made at least 250 for us, right?
Yeah, I thought even more, maybe.
So
even more.
Yeah, so well done to Aaron Lennon. 400 appearances, and let's hope there's more to come for him.
And when you look back at that World Cup as well, because, Walcott went at a really young age and all the hype was around him, but I always thought that Lennon performed really well whenever he got called upon in that World Cup, and definitely outperformed Walcott.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. And I think, does Walcott ever get a game with Southampton anymore? I can't remember.
Don't even know. All right, so that is your Tottenham update. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.